Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to the Long Term Podcast. I'm your host, Advin Villa. Today, we have machinist and NAIT student Jake Elliott. We will discuss gambling, finding oneself in life, and the experiences of working at a fast food restaurant at a young age. Everyone, welcome. Yeah, this is an amazing conversation with Jake. We have a lot of stories when it comes to just fast food and just gambling, addiction, and just purpose, meaning, talk, and just change is possible, guys. I'm excited for all of you to hear this conversation. Everyone, welcome. Thank you for coming on the Long Term Podcast.
Of course,
Jake
man.
Elliott, bro.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah, dude. How was your day?
Yeah, it's good. It's just like any other day, really, especially on a weekday. Just work.
Dude, it's Friday though, hey?
I know.
Friday.
Very happy for the weekend.
Yeah, any plans?
Probably just hang out with my girlfriend. Maybe with my
Nice.
friends. We'll see.
Nice.
Just relax. So
Dope.
I don't think the weather's going to be very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's supposed to be rainy, hey?
Yeah. We got our hot weather, though, but you want rain. You see all the wildfires everywhere, right?
Yeah,
You want rain.
Got rid of the smoke though, so that's all right. Yeah, bro, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'll be turning 20 in August. So actually a week. Next weekend, turn 20. I'm currently working in a warehouse as a machinist. Working on heavy duty machines. I'll be starting at NAIT in September. Challenge my apprenticeship. I don't know. I think I've had kind of a weird experience coming out of high school. I thought I really wanted to do culinary. I thought that was my passion coming out of high school, but I did it first year after high school. And then halfway into my second gap year, I was just doing culinary, working in restaurants. We started when I was 15 in Panda Express.
Dude, that was how long? 5 years ago. Almost
a long
5 years
time ago. It doesn't feel that long though.
Yeah,
but
no, it doesn't. But
yeah, that
here
was
we
an
are.
experience. And starting there, I just thought it was gonna be just I finally get my first paycheck, fast food. It's gonna be terrible, but honestly, I enjoyed it, man. It was a good experience.
Yeah, bro. I think it should be a requirement that everybody work some sort of fast food retail where you're just at the bottom, the lowest in the hierarchy, where you get to witness just all walks of life come to you too, right? Because when they come to fast food, it's not just the kid, it's not just the adult, it's everyone. It's the old guy, it's the family, you get all these different people coming to you, and you get experience talking to different people, and it just widens kind of how you can adapt and how you can structure the way you present yourself. But yeah, so what does a machinist do?
Well, so there's a bunch of different machines. They're like robots, I like to call them, but they're big machines, and we work with aluminum, metal, sometimes wood, not very often though, but it's like we use them to build doors and windows and anything really for a house or for buildings being made, and you put them in the machine, and it's all programmed. You can become a programmer for the machines, but you program the pieces into where you want them to be cut, and little holes, drill holes, everything, and then eventually you can make a door out of it or a window. It's a long process, but it's quite interesting.
Oh man, that's intricate. Is this what you're going to school for?
Yeah. So I'm going as a machinist. I'm starting my course actually last week of August, and then starting in September, I'm challenging my apprenticeship for it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh, it's good.
What drew you into it?
Well, it's actually a long story because I did not think I would be doing this, but like I said, coming out of high school, I thought I wanted to do culinary. I worked in restaurants. I worked in a Mexican restaurant coming out of high school. Then I switched to Earl's, worked in Earl's for a little bit, went back to the Mexican restaurant, worked in fine dining. I worked in a lot of restaurants, and I was like, "Hey, this is cool. I like the adrenaline rush. I like how it feels when you're cooking and giving people something to do when they go out. You're letting people enjoy their life. But man, eventually I realized it's like I don't know if I want to do this. It took a toll on my body, working long hours and late nights, and
you don't get a break.
No, you don't get a break. Honestly, a lot of people. It might be different for other people in different restaurants, but it's just like I didn't feel like I had a set schedule. I didn't get a normal job where you get the weekends off. Working in the restaurants, you're always working the weekends. You're not getting the weekends off because the weekends are the busiest times for restaurants. And I don't know. I just realized I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And I had this friend of mine. His name's Aaron. He's a good guy. Me and him, we went to high school together, junior high together. And I remember he texted my group chat and he was like, "Hey, I need someone to come help me at because the place I work at, his dad owns it." So he texted and he said, "Hey, I need someone to come work for me at my shop. Like, I need someone to help me." And what he did was powder coating, which is completely different from what I'm doing now. Powder coating it's like painting, but it's not painting. It's like it's a gun and you spray powder at it and then eventually you cook it in an oven and it comes out painted in the color you want it, but it's not paint where it can peel or nothing. It's very clean. It was nice, but I didn't really enjoy it. And I remember one of our machinists had quit and I was like, maybe this is an opportunity to try something different. And I talked to my boss and all this, and we agreed that let's try it out. And I remember going in there and I really enjoyed it. And I've just been doing it since. And then we sat down about school and we agreed, I think school would be good for you. You learn more. It's good experience. And it's something you can have in the back of your pocket in case, something falls through or you need to move on, but you still have a career in your pocket if you need to go back to something. So
Oh,
it's a long story.
so your friend had invited you to this company that his dad
Yeah, well,
owns?
he texted the group chat and it's just a giant group chat with a bunch of my friends. And he said, "Hey, like, we're super busy at my job. We need to employ someone to come help me." And that was, I looked at it. I never answered. And I remember like 3 weeks later it was like 1 a.m. I was the only person left in the restaurant, in the kitchen. I was cleaning up everything, restocking. I was about to leave and I was like, "Okay, fuck, I don't think I want to do this anymore." And I texted him and I said, "Hey, like, are you still looking for someone to come work for you?" And he said, "Yeah." And I remember it was like 2 days later, I went in, didn't really even have an interview to sign some papers. And I thought I was taking a big risk because I didn't know what to expect going into working in the shop after working in the restaurants for so long. Like, even in the restaurants, I did culinary school for 2 months, did not enjoy it. I left it. But yeah, it was a big risk, but I think it paid off. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's all these opportunities that we're presented with, right? And it's so when you walk into an unfamiliar place or when you decide to, it's so daunting because you don't know what's going to happen. 'Cause when you become part of the industry for long enough, you adapt and you familiarize everything. And it's all, while maybe you're not passionate about it anymore, it's a lot better to stay in that same place. And that's why you see lots of these people that are so ingrained in them and the way they do things, but they don't necessarily enjoy the things that they do. But then right now, since we're young and we don't have anybody relying on us, now's the time to do it, hey? And
well, yeah.
And bro, you're still 20. You're turning 20 soon, so you still got like a whole.
But even like what you said, like when I was in there I was cooking for like a year and a half, and I thought, okay, this is what my career is gonna be, and I was so scared to take a risk. And I had my parents, they really want you to go to school. They want you to go study in a university. I never really enjoyed school. I had good grades. Like, I could have went to a university if I wanted to, but I just never liked it. Like, I thought culinary was what I wanted to do, but then eventually I realized it made me miserable. I was going to bed and my sleep schedule was so bad.
Yeah.
I was getting home at like 2 a.m, going to bed at like 6 a.m, waking up at 4, and then heading back to the restaurant at 5 p.m. It's terrible. And I was like, okay, like, what the hell am I doing with my life?
Your circadian rhythm's probably just all over the place. And you're just like dysregulated, your brain's discombobulated, and you go in there and it's just, when the passion's not there, it's just so soul wrecking, man. Like, you go in there for like the 10th time after you realize that this isn't for you. It's like something's taken away from you. Like, maybe it's the same amount of sleep the first week, and maybe it's the same energy level, but when you make that decision, when you make that realization where, oh, this isn't for me, it's like it's heavier coming,
Yeah.
right? I get that, bro. Because I was working at the construction company. Actually, it's still the same company that I work for right now, but it's just part time because I'm going to school now, and
Yeah.
just when you go to work and it doesn't feel right, like I'm sure a lot of people have that feeling, but they're just too scared.
Oh, there's so many people,
I'm
man.
scared. I'm terrified. And even starting something new, right? This podcast, like putting my ideas out there to be judged, to be who I am. But I just, we all just gotta stop overthinking things and just go for it. And
that's what I've been saying, man. I think you just got to take the risk, because if you have something and you want to do it, man, you just
go for it.
Fuck what everyone else thinks, man, because I don't know, man. People are so worried about what other people will think, and if I do this, are people going to judge me, or are people going to talk bad about me, or am I going to get talked behind my back? Am I going to lose my friends? Like, I don't know, man.
You do what's right for you. We all know what's right for us. It's just taking that leap of faith and going, okay, I'm going to give it the best that I can. And not just the initial phase, because sure, there's like the motivation side of things where, okay, I'm going to try this for a week. And then you just, as soon as you feel pain, then you drop out. Yeah. No, you give yourself like a good amount of time, whether you actually like it or not. And you had given yourself a long time in the fast food industry, right? And it just wasn't for you. I'd say like 5 years around there.
Oh,
where you
5
actually
years.
devote
Yeah, well,
yourself.
I tried everything, man. I Panda Express, and then I worked at Subway for a little bit. I know you worked at Subway too, dude.
I actually really like working at Subway.
Subway, it is interesting, but yeah.
Well, yeah, bro. You keep going with that, and you're still so young.
I know, but I think I found a good career. But you never know, right?
You never know. You just have to adapt. You just have to go with what's right for you, and you just can't give up. Right? I'm a believer where everything in life is the cheesy quotes, and it's like what we embody. Like, work hard, you'll get good things.
Yeah.
Nothing worth having comes easy. Patience, good things come to those who wait. Yeah, it's all true.
Oh yeah, no, it is.
And so one of the topics that we'll discuss today is gambling.
Gambling.
Yeah, bro. Actually, I'm not.
It's all clear.
It's all clear. You see that? My vision. I forgot my glasses.
Is very bad.
Dude, my vision sucks, man. I don't know where my glasses went.
It looks good.
Okay, good. Because I had a guest come prior, like 5 episodes ago, and it was so blurry, man. I was devastated because it was a great conversation, but so what initially drew you to gambling, and how did you come to realize the risks of it?
Oh man. Well, I remember I turned 18, and 18, I wanted to go to White Ave and go to a bar. I wanted to experience that. And I remember I was like, okay, this is cool. Got to go clubbing, party with my friends, all that. And casino was never in my head when I turned 18. Oh, I want to go to the casino. I want to go gamble. Never in my head. And I remember it was like 2 days later, and I didn't really celebrate with my family. And I remember my dad was like, hey, do you want to go to the casino? I was like, okay, like what's the worst that could happen, right? Get to experience another new thing in my life. I remember I went, and I only brought, I think, like $50, which is like, still a lot of money to some people, but it was $50. And I remember my dad was showing me around. We went into the casino, all these bright lights, slots everywhere. You see some of these people, they just look miserable. Yeah, but then there's some
old people pressing the slot machine. Like, I think that's one of the saddest sights, bro. Like, seeing those people like spending their pension money.
Oh, I know. And
just right there all day, just tapping it, just mind numbing.
Oh man, but yeah, I remember I went in and we sat down on a slot. I still remember it clearly. It was this Monopoly slot. It was, I don't know, it's some stupid Monopoly slot about a train. But I sat down. I remember I put $20 in, and I think I was doing like $3 a spin, which is a lot of money for a spin. Like 50 cents is enough for a lot of people, but I did $3. I remember like my third spin, I got into like the super bonus is what they call it. And you can win all this big money and all of this. And I remember it started spinning, and I didn't know what the hell was happening. And next thing you know, I won like $1,300, and I was like, holy shit. Like
$1,300.
Yeah, $1,300.
This is after how much have you put in?
I think I was in for $25.
Oh,
and I was like, holy shit, man, what is going on? Yeah. I was like, dude, I just won a lot of money. Like, is it this easy? Is what the first thing that came to my head. I was like, I can quit my job.
Just quit our job. Why don't we just do this full time?
Oh, I was like, holy shit. And I remember my dad's like, that is like really hard to get. Like, that is not easy. Like, you are so lucky. And I was like, whatever. That was easy. And yeah, it was slow. Like, it was just that. And then I remember like, I told my friends about it because at that time, me and all my friends were freshly 18. Like, all of us turned 18 around the same time together. And I told some of them about the casino. We went to the casino, and that was when we were just playing small amounts of money, $20, $40, $60, all that. And it was all fun, playing the table games, blackjack. We played a lot of it. But then I realized I found myself starting to go there a little too much, because the big thing about gambling is gamble what you can afford to lose and, what you won't be upset about. I mean, you're going to be upset either way if you lose your money, but don't gamble what let's say you have to pay a bill. Don't gamble your bill money. It's common sense. But yeah, we were going. I found myself going a little too much, and I realized, okay, like I probably should cut her down a little bit, and never really did. But it's always in the head. I was like, okay, this probably isn't healthy. Like, I never really knew what like an addiction felt like, so I didn't know. It's like, am I addicted to this, or is it just something I enjoy? But yeah, it's a lot, man.
Yeah, the thing with gambling is just, or addiction too, is you don't know you're addicted until you're in it. Because at first, at start, you win like 1,200 and it's just so euphoric, and then you go, oh, I'll come back again. And then you come back again, and it's not as, you're thinking about that time with that hit. You're looking for that. And maybe you lose a bunch, but then you get that big hit again. And then over time, you just get roped into the cycle, and you just like think about it. And I know a bunch of guys that get roped into that, man. And it's so funny too. Like, when you tell your boys like, hey, I lost like $1,000. Yeah. Like, let's go again. Yeah. Like, it's so destructive in that way, where it's like, if you think about it, like if you actually stop and thinking about it, like you could have spent that money for school, for food, for all these things.
It's dangerous. And it's like, but I hadn't even told half the story yet. It got bad. Like, you're just playing this easy money, but then you find yourself going a lot. But then I found out about online gambling, which is like, I personally think it's way more dangerous than just a casino.
Yeah, because with the casino, you actually have to go there.
Yeah, you can access it anytime, wherever you want. You just easily send them, like you just e-transfer them the money, and it gets in your account. And it's so easy to access. Like, you could be sitting in your bed and you could be gambling. But I found out about that, and there's a lot of misconception about online gambling, because my phone, my my Instagram, my TikTok, a lot of it is gambling. It your phone, it tells you what you like, and you'll see a lot of it, but you only really ever see the big wins of gambling when you're scrolling TikTok or you're on Instagram. You only see the big wins, and it kind of screws with your head, saying, holy shit, this guy's winning so much money. Like, why am I not doing this? But you don't see the people who are losing thousands of dollars.
No, you don't.
Losing their house, losing their car. Oh, yeah. You don't see any of that, man. But you only see the big wins. But yeah, online gambling. I remember I signed up to my first site, and I deposited like $100, lost it. And also the big thing is, I find with a lot of people, even myself, it happened to me. I remember one time I put $50 in and I lost it. I was like, I'm just going to make this back really quick. I'm going to put another $50 in. Oh, next thing you know, I lost that $50 and put another $50 and lost it. $50, lost it. And you're in a cycle where you don't really realize what the hell you're doing. You just realize you're just losing a bunch of money, but you think, oh, I can win it back easily. But next thing you know, you lost a bunch of money. Like, it's dangerous,
man. It's that lack of self-control, hey? Because for me, I had bulimia for a little bit. This is a couple of years back too, and I knew what I was doing was bad for me. I know I was consuming food for like 3,000, 4,000 calories all in like an hour, and it was all shitty food. And while I was this guy who like you'd look at me and I was like, oh, Advin, he's healthy, he runs, he works out. Like there's nothing wrong with his diet. Dude, I was like under immense stress and I couldn't help myself from reaching into the pantry. If I saw a cake, I just consume all of it. And I hid this from my friends, from my family, because I was ashamed. And you don't, that lack of control, right? That it's just, that's why I know, like, I used to view addiction as like, bro, just don't do it.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people feel like, and I'm like, just it's not that easy,
it's
man.
not that easy.
No.
Like, I was addicted to vaping for all of high school.
Oh,
and
man.
I there was this narrative too where I told myself I could never get addicted. Like I was in control, but that's where you're wrong, right? Because you do something.
I had that exact same thing. Oh, bro. I could never get addicted to this. Absolutely not. No, I got addicted.
Yeah. You definitely. You are. No one is immune to being addicted. I'm a firm believer of it. But then I've also heard many scientists on the different podcasts I've listened to. You can't get addicted to something if you don't try it. That's why, like if you. That's why I won't ever do coke, man.
Yeah,
that's why I won't ever do heroin.
I've never done coke.
I know if I did that, I know I just want it. I'd want it more
absolutely.
and more. And
that's actually, you know, I've heard that exact same quote and I've thought about it too. It's like, it's not that hard. If you don't do it, you won't get addicted. So it's just like coke, I wouldn't really want to do anyways.
But I used to think, I don't know if it's just like high school mentality, prefrontal cortex not developed, where, oh, I got to try it at least once.
Yeah.
I used to have that mentality where like, okay, I'm just going to try coke once.
A
lot of people still do. Yeah. But what they don't realize is that one time can destroy your entire livelihood. And next thing you know, in the blink of an eye, you're on the side of the road in downtown doing crack and fighting against scraps, the different tents outside Rogers Place.
No, I know. Yeah, it's dangerous, man.
Yeah, dude. So you doing
It's just
better.
all about the self-control and moderation, but you don't know if you have that, because if you haven't tried it, you won't know if you have that. But then you try it and you find out, oh shit, I don't have that. I'm gonna get addicted to this.
Yeah. Can you share a particularly impactful moments of realization that highlighted the severity of risks gambling to you?
Yeah, well, there's a lot actually, but like I mentioned earlier, even just you walk into the casino sometimes and you see these miserable people, you know, they don't look the best, they're not dressed the best, they look very depressed, they look very sad, and you just see them throwing money on the table, just wanting to get more. And it's sad to see, and it's, you know, it's sad to talk about, but it's just like, that's when you know, like, this is bad and you need to know when to stop or when to have self-control, because like we just said, some people just don't know how to have self-control, or oh man, and it's bad. But yeah, a big one is going in and you see some of these people and it's just, you know, they're heavily addicted to it, and you know, this is more than just a hobby for them. It's sometimes just how they're trying to get their house, like they're trying to pay their bills by gambling, which don't do. But it goes with anything, man. You see those people in the casino who are all depressed gambling money, but it's also the people on the streets who have these crazy drug addictions, right? It's like, you never want to be like that. You don't want to be like someone like that.
You see, one may just be a drug addiction and one is a behavior addiction, but it's eliciting the same neurochemicals in the brain. Or when you do heroin, when you do cocaine or insert drug, ecstasy, you are eliciting the same type of feel-good chemicals. And that's just like with any behavior pattern as well. And gambling does that. Sure, you're not consuming anything, but you're eliciting kind of the same feeling. And a lot of people actually layer that on, because a lot of people do gambling and then they also get into drugs. It just adds on and makes it
even worse. The severity of it, right?
I was talking to this woman that I worked with, and she used to be a guard. She's a bigger lady, and she talked about all the really awful, depressing stories of men, women just going in there with their life savings, or going in there with their credit cards, or both.
Like a guard at a casino
but they're maxing it out. They're like zeroing everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar with the casino. I've never gambled because I know I'd
No,
get
like
addicted.
you meant like she was a security officer at the casino?
Yes,
Like she worked at the casino.
She worked at the casino.
Yeah.
And she would witness. She would have to kick out the people because they had already maxed out everything, all their credit cards, and they had chucked their entire life savings at the casino, and they'd literally be crying, and then they would be kicked out.
Yeah.
And this would be $100K all in one day.
Oh,
one
man.
night.
Sometimes you get caught in it and you think, okay, I'm just going to gamble this. And like I said earlier, it's just next thing you know, holy shit, I just lost so much money. I thought I was only going in with $100.
Yeah.
I just lost way more than $100. And I've heard so many stories like that. My uncle works he's a security guard in a casino in BC. And he told me one of these stories and it really stayed with me. But he said he's a security officer and he said some guy won a really big jackpot one night. It was like $30,000 or something like that. And when you win a big sum of money, usually you have to get escorted out of the casino by security for safety purposes in case someone's trying to steal your money or something, right? Because they know you just won a bunch of money. But yeah, I remember my uncle told me he had to escort this guy out of the casino because he won a big amount of money. And in casino etiquette, I guess, is when you win a big amount of money, you tip. You tip the dealers or you tip the security, you tip people who are doing stuff for you. But my uncle told me he was walking this guy out and he got to the car and the guy asked my uncle if he wanted a tip. And I remember my uncle said, he told the guy that no, he doesn't want a tip. The best thing he could ask the guy for is to not come back and spend the money on something good. Because once you win a jackpot, you're probably going to come back and think you can win another one. And He told the guy just not to come back. Like that's the best thing he can do for him to make him happy instead of a tip. He said the tip's not going to make him happy. It's going to make me happy if I don't see you come back. Well, next day he sees the guy come back and he lost it all. And I was like, yeah, that's bad,
so
man.
disheartening. I think 90% of lottery winners lose everything within X amount of years.
No, I know.
It's because it's unearned wealth. Like you didn't really work for it.
Yeah.
Like you just it was like something falls from the sky. You're just not gonna cherish it as much.
Yeah, but it's not a good mentality to have.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't work for this. Like, oh, I won $10,000. I didn't work for this. I can just throw it back to them.
Yeah.
I've had that type of mentality before, but it's not a good one to have. Like, I remember once I won like $5,000 and I was like, okay, cool. Awesome.
Oh, $5,000.
Yeah.
Where'd all that
I
go?
won $5,000 online gambling.
Yeah.
And I remember I withdrew and I got into my bank account. I was like, okay, holy shit, like this is cool. And just over time, like I was like, I can win more. Like it wasn't this hard. You look at your bank history, $100, $100, $100, $100 going back to them, and I'm like, okay, fuck. Like,
dude, that's
you just think you can win more, but no, there's a lot of things that just aren't good about it.
What steps have you taken to keep gambling to a moderation level, but still enjoyable?
Well, I think the first one is you have to be able to have self-control and know when to stop. And like I said earlier, you have to only gamble what you can afford to lose, because you're gambling more than what you can afford to lose and you're gambling money that's going to be used for a bill. Well, that's never going to end up good for you. But that's a big one. I think just keeping self-control and moderation, because if you don't have those, it's never going to work out for you, I think. And I've definitely learned to have self-control and moderation, because at one point I didn't, and it wasn't fun, right? It really wasn't. And what else? There's a few, but that's a big one. But also, it's just, I remember because also usually you walk into the casino with cash, but there's also ATMs everywhere. So let's say you lose your $100 and next thing you know, you're at the ATM pulling more money out. And I did that a lot. I lost money and then I went to the ATM and pulled more out. But I learned to just take cash and leave my cards at home. And it worked pretty well for me, actually, because once you lost it, okay, no more. I have to go. you can't pull more money. It worked pretty well.
I was reading this book. It's called The Power of Habits, and in one of the chapters, it discusses this woman, just a mom, stay-at-home mom, and yeah, she figured, just tried gambling once, and then like after she dropped her off her kids, she just went, and then she won like something crazy, like 10-50 grand, and she just kept winning, man. Eventually she won all the way to 500 grand, but because she was like adding in a lot more, and she got lucky, and there was no really skill involved.
Oh well,
but what the casino
there's really no
wants,
skill involved at the casino. Like the only thing I say skills involved is poker, but poker I think is a completely different topic than. But I mean, the poker is in the casino, but I think it's completely different than. But gambling.
What they want you to do is they want you to keep coming back. And you see all those, like it's designed with all the flashy colors, with all the designs, and like these are people with PhDs at work to hijack the reward system from your brain. Like these are people that want you to just keep playing and never go home to suck you dry.
I fell into one of those stupid, like one of their, give us more money. But I remember in the casino, there's a high limit room, which means you play more money than just at a normal table, and there's higher maximums. And I remember the high limit room, it was if you buy in for $1,000 worth of chips, you get a free meal and a free drink. I was like, hey, I'm a genius. Like I can buy in for $1,000, eat my food, drink, not gamble the $1,000 and cash out. And I did it once, and then I went back and I was like, hey, I'm just going to do that again. But then I found myself gambling the $1,000. Oh, jeez,
that sucks, man. But
it's just everything is there for a reason, and the casino wasn't built on losing. And that's
the
what you have to realize.
Always wins. The
exactly.
house always wins.
No, that's what you have to realize, man. It's hard for people to realize that, but
they did a study on gambling addicts, and they tested their brain and saw just did the slot machine, and they found that in comparison to a normal brain, which they don't really gamble. Sure, they may come here and there for gambling, but they're not addicted.
Yeah.
And then they found that the increase in dopamine, the increase in excitement is all about almost getting the jackpot. It's not getting the jackpot. It's that feeling of, I almost got it, almost. And so that's what keeps them playing. But then the people that weren't addicted, they didn't really get the same kind of feeling from the slots. And that's just the dangerous part with that, hey? Because when you think you can, next time I'll get it. When you have that, next time, it's like you it's so irrational. And then there's people that just destroy their entire lives and like spending their children's college tuitions in hopes of doubling it. So like, these are with the best of intentions. Like these are people that want their families to do well. These are people that want to alleviate the suffering, the financial suffering that they do have on them, to be unburdened. But what ends up happening is they triple the suffering because they lose everything.
It's not the way to go. It's not the way to go.
Would you say you've kind of, at which point did you realize, this is a problem? This is like something I need to...
Probably when I won a big sum of money and I lost it all.
Yeah?
And I was like, okay, this is bad.
The $5,000?
More.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's like, really, man? I don't ever catch myself losing a lot of my paycheck. I would win a big amount of money, then just give it back to them. Like, I wouldn't blow my whole paycheck. Like, I've always been pretty responsible with it. But it's when I go with my friends and sometimes I put $100 in and I win and keep winning and keep winning, keep winning. And then I'm up a huge amount of money and then I just give it all back to them. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. You should have a cutoff where you have rules. You're like, okay, X amount, then I can't just lose it all, because there's a pattern, it seems, because when you win this sum of money, you just think it's money that you can just keep winning more, and it's money that because this is a part of you. Like this money right here, you can use for your school that you're gonna start for the being machinist this coming September.
Yeah, September.
Yeah, use that, man, and then maybe add in like just I can't lose any more than this. Like have rules, like a foundation, and like don't. Easier said than done.
No,
don't think off of emotion.
I always talk about this, and me and my friends always have these conversations, and I always tell myself these things, but sometimes you don't listen to yourself. But that's like it just all comes back to self-control. It's like you got to know when to stop. But like you said, easier said than done.
Yeah. Because we could all set up a plan. You could go, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that. It's all sounds so perfect in our heads. But then when it comes down to it, it's just adrenaline's pumping, the lights are flashing, your buddy's screaming, everybody's yelling, you're excited.
It's about anything. Like even I remember we made this giant plan, me and my friends, we're all going to quit vaping. Like this is going to be easy if we all quit. Never fucking worked out. Dude. One person hits it again, you're out with them. Yeah. They're all just gonna. Yeah. That's just another thing, but yeah.
How's that coming along?
Yeah, I went back.
Oh man. Dude, it took me 2 years. On and off.
Hard, man. Like,
bro, when you get stressed, it's just like that's like such an easy.
Like I hate it, but I'm addicted. Like it's like I remember doing it in like grade 9, and I was like, this is so cool. I'm so cool. Like,
bro, it's the coolest ever,
I have
man.
a vape. Like,
dude, I could do those O's, man. I miss it, man. I miss
can
it.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, you get it on the table, like fucking tornado. Teacher's gone. You guys pass it around. Yeah. Remember the breeze, man? Dude,
the breeze.
Dude, and the breeze 2. There was also a breeze 3. Novo.
The Novo.
Novo 2.
Yeah, I had a Novo. I had a pink Novo a long time ago. But
and then there was one after that, the Caliburn.
Oh, the Caliburn. Yeah, that's what I have right now.
Dude, I still remember it. I miss it, but I know that if I went back, I'd be addicted all over again.
And you know, it's awesome that you are out of it. And it's like, I don't know how you did it, man. I've tried so many different things, and
I had a massive panic attack. This is my first sem from school. I had gotten back like stats. Like I was the same as you. I didn't really sure, I got good grades, but I didn't really enjoy school. And this is like something new because I'd just been working at the construction company that I was with. And I'm like, I can't keep going with this. I gotta get educated somehow. Yeah. And so I applied to U of A, and I got accepted. Woo. And then my first day is just everything was heavy. I didn't really know, what to do. I was really doubting myself. And then all the time I saw a pattern where I would just hit my vape. I just hit it nonstop. And then it was so alleviating, but then it just made everything worse. And then I come home, my dog's barking. I'm like, stop barking so much. The dog's barking everywhere, and neighbor's gonna complain. I'm just stressed out. I'd have a massive panic attack. I thought I was gonna die. Really? My heart was gonna felt like my heart was gonna burst out of my chest and go spill out. And that's when I kept hitting my vape too, and that's when I realized I need to quit.
This probably isn't helping.
I cold turkeyed it. Really? And it was one of the hardest things I've ever done, because for the first year, all that was in my head. It was just every time I drove by Nottingham. Every time I drove by, any shop, and I'd see it, and it's just, but then I'm like, I experienced that visceral pain of just that panic attack. And I don't think it was a result of the vape. It wasn't the one that solely caused it, because there was a lot of things going on in my life at that time, but it was still a factor, and I don't think it was helping. No. So I think anytime I've made a change in my life, it was because something really, really awful, visceral, destructive internally that I felt happened. And I'm thankful for every single one
Yeah.
of them.
No, it just makes you the person you are today, right?
Yeah, dude,
And,
I love it. I love to suffer, man.
I don't know how you cold turkey though.
Yeah, man.
Shit's hard, man.
Yeah,
I tried so many different things.
Dude, just keep trying, man. That's what you get
I know,
knocked down. You just keep trying. And
What a lot of
we put too much guilt on ourselves. Hey, we something doesn't work out, and we just go, like I'm a failure. But bro, that's a part of the process. Part of it, bro. You just got to keep trying. And that's just like, of course, there's people that in the back of their heads, they know they're actually not trying. But like, as long as you know yourself, you're giving it your best. But then the addiction is there, and you can't put too much guilt. Because I feel that's a lot of people.
Yeah. That's hard, man. I've tried. Yeah, I don't know. I have my brain saying, "Oh, you need to stop," but I just anytime any little inconvenience happens, I'm hitting it, man.
Yeah.
Even I can't even go without it for like 30 minutes at work. It's bad.
Yeah, get an accountability partner. Get maybe leave it at home for a while. Yeah, leave it at but bro, when you leave it at home, man, the dopamine hit after when you get back home is just euphoric.
Yeah, I've tried. I've done that before. Well, I didn't mean to do it, but I accidentally left it at home. I forgot it at home.
Yeah, bro. Those are the best feelings. Just when you abstain from something for long enough, and it's just like boom.
Well, I remember the first time I did it, I forgot it at home, and I went through all work, and it wasn't that bad. And I remember I got home, I was like, "Hey, I can keep going. I don't need to hit it."
Yeah.
Then I remember I woke up and I was like, "Okay, I need to hit this."
Oh, that's fair. Is it okay if we take a little break?
Yeah.
So, finding oneself in life, what challenges have you faced in your journey to discover your true passions and purpose in life?
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to earlier where I said you just have to learn how to take risks and how to, take time and understand what you actually want to do. You have to try so many different things and figure out what you actually enjoy and what makes you happy, because it all goes back to the restaurant where I just realized I'm not happy. I hate this. Like, I need to find something else. And you have to take that risk to find what your true passion is, because if some people just, they stay miserable and they're too afraid to get a career change. Like you said, we're still young. Like, it's not that hard for us, but there's some people who are way older than us, and it's hard for them to take that type of risk. So I've learned that you have to be able to take risks and, try new things, because if you don't try new things, you're never going to find hobbies or, passions that you really enjoy. And that was a big thing. And it took a while to learn, but I think I've kind of understood it now, because I personally, like, 1 year from now, I'm so different. I'm completely different. Last year, I think I was pretty miserable. Like, I wouldn't say depressed, but like, I just was not happy where my life was. Like, I really didn't do anything. I was, like I said, I had that terrible sleep schedule. I was just finding myself sleeping all day, going to work, and then just same cycle every single day. I never got to see my friends, and that, that's something I really enjoy, spending time with my friends and going out and doing fun things. And it's, it's just it all leads back to, take a risk, try new things. Because if you don't, you're never going to find yourself where you want yourself to be in life,
Everybody has an idea or an ambition, some sort of dream, but few are willing to get after it.
Absolutely,
because we're terrified. Like, why start that workout? Why start that new career? Why go to school? Why do anything?
Yeah.
And like, for me, I'm just terrified of not doing enough, man, of being a loser, of not being able to help the people that I love, and not being able to access my true potential.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you ever struggle with the kind of the risks that you're going into? Do you ever overthink that?
I mean, sometimes it's like I'm scared to take the risk because I could just be screwing myself over. And, a big one was, again, the career change. It's like I took a risk to go to a different career. I could have just completely fucked myself over, and I wouldn't be able to go back to what I was doing before. But, I just think, you do things for a reason, and if your mind's telling you something and you want to do it, you just got to do it. I don't know, it's hard though.
It's going to be gnawing at you. Like if you don't do it, because before starting school, before starting this podcast, before running, there's that gnawing feeling inside of me where I need to start this. I need to start now. When? Tomorrow? Next year? And it's just, I keep repeating this all the time. I'm sure I've said it in so many podcasts. You either suffer the pain of regrets or the pain of discipline. Regret weighs tons and discipline weighs ounces.
Yeah.
That feeling of not being able to do the thing that you wanted to do versus just the pain of doing it, of studying, of doing the things that are tough. It's much more bearable to just follow through because you try and try and try, and sure, maybe you fail. Maybe being a machinist isn't for you. Maybe that's just school was never for you. But at least you knew. At least you saw the ending.
Yeah.
But it's that mystery of, okay, what's the ending? If you never tried it, then, you'll be going, what if? And then you're just going to be on your deathbed one day going, what should have, could have, would have.
Yeah.
Then it's too late.
Oh, that's what you don't want it. You never want it to be too late, man. You just gotta put yourself out there and try it, because there's so many instances where people tell you, I really wanted to do this, but it's too late, or I missed my opportunity. Well, you gotta put yourself out there and try it.
The most common thing that I hear people in the construction industry back when I was working full time is the older guys, the blue collar workers had working there for decades, have families, and they've lived a good portion of their life in that field. They always say one of the biggest regrets they have is not going to school.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I started thinking about that in my early 20s. I'm going to be regretting the same thing. So why not just go back to school and see
what
year
it's like. Are you in?
I'm in my third year for psych.
How old are you again?
24. Yeah, bro, I'm old, man.
Oh, you're 24, man. That's not old.
I'm old, man.
That is not old.
Yeah, no, I remember when everybody called me young, but that just stopped. Like I remember when I was 18 and everybody was just like, "Oh, you're so young, you're so young." It kind of just stops. I'm sure you still get that. Like 19.
Not really. I mean, I don't know. I am still young, but I think I'm definitely young, but I'm way more mature. Like, there's a difference between being like young me in high school than being young me right now. It's different, but people still call me young. But
how do you navigate the uncertainty of not knowing exactly what you want to do in life?
Well, I think, you got to keep your, you want to think about the things you want your life to be like, and you make all these scenarios in your head. Oh, this is what I want to be doing in a year. This is what you want to be doing in even a month. And you have all these scenarios. But I think what worked for me was I set goals for myself on, what I want to be doing in a year or what I want to be doing in a week. And it's just little things, even just little things like, oh, next week I want to eat not McDonald's every day. Because, sometimes I catch myself eating a lot of fast food, but it's just little things, man. And it worked. But for the big things, it takes more time for it to work out. But if you set a goal for yourself, let's say, in 6 months, I want to have this much money saved. I want to have this vehicle or this item purchased, and you set your mind to it and, you try your hardest, it will probably work out. You just got to be able to set your mind to what you want, because you have all these ideas, but then your mind goes in different places and it's all over the place, and you find yourself forgetting about that. And then you remember it weeks later, and you just you gotta got to hold on to it and remember what you want, because if you don't, then it's never going to work. And also, I think surrounding yourself around good people, because if you catch yourself surrounded by a bunch of degenerates, then you're never going to hit the goals you want. There's type of people who are just going to hold you back, and you don't want to be surrounded by those type of people.
Yeah, organization is it's imperative if you want to be able to live a fulfilling life. Like Socrates had said that an unexamined life is not worth living. Like if you don't take the time to reflect, to truly know what you want, and you just go and scroll on TikTok and you see that, oh, looks like he's enjoying life, he's got a lot of money, or it looks like, oh, being a celebrity looks cool because you can act and there's all these accolades and all these girls like you, and then, oh, the attraction with the girls, it's a lot of pussy. It's just, that's not, like, sure, maybe that society views that as respectable and they see someone with ultra success, but is that truly what you want? Is that gonna make you happy?
And I just think it's a little off topic, but I think social media just is not, you view things that you see on social media as, oh, like, I want my life to be like that, but I don't think that's a good idea, because you see all these things on social media and you view them as, oh, like, this is cool, I'm gonna go do this. I don't know.
I'd say it's all an act on social media, and sure, I use it a lot, but what I see on there is it depends how you use it, and for a lot of people, they use it to kind of show off all the good times, and you have to keep that in mind. You do not know these people on there. You do not know who they are.
Well, that's what go back to gambling when I said you only see the big wins. You don't see the people losing thousands of dollars. You only see the good things on social media. You maybe a slim 2% you see the bad things, but you hardly ever see the bad things. And that's why, social media can be good for different reasons, but sometimes it's just not it.
That person that you see in Hawaii could be suicidal. Yeah. That person that you see that just bought a new Bugatti could be depressed. Maybe they're estranged from their parents. Maybe they're just downright miserable. And it's just, you don't know these people. And I see the people that I look up to, and I want to strive to be like them. Yeah. Like them. A lot of people want to be them, right? Yeah. And if you ask majority of people, okay, insert influencer, successful influencer, and I think there was like a study that came out that like majority of kids, the Gen Z these days, the most popular dream job is being an influencer. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, well, that's a lot of people's dream job.
And then if you ask people, majority of people, if they want to wake up the next day being their idol, insert, maybe it's a celebrity musician, MGK, Eminem, Megan Fox, Adele, Brad Pitt. Lots of people, majority of people would say no, because that's not you.
Yeah.
That's not you, right? You didn't work for that. And if you woke up, you wouldn't know how to be them, because that's them. So there's really, you shouldn't, sure, it's great to absorb the qualities that they have, whether it be about discipline, but seeing that life and going, oh, I wish I was them, is such a futile endeavor, because you don't know that person. You don't want to be them. You want to be like them. Yeah. But you don't want to be them. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, that makes a lot of sense. And absolutely.
And you had said the organization in the mind, right? And I think David Goggins has this mindset in where he does a lot of meditation, and he kind of sorts his mind out in different boxes. Like this is the box where all my family and connections and memories. This is where I access kind of why I do the things that I do. This box right here is for my editing skills, or this is where I just access that portion where I'm editing, or this box right here in is when I'm driving. And you have all these different, it's all sorted out. And And I find I'm still I still have trouble with this. But when you want to access a certain mental framework, you just reach into that and you do it. Like when you're studying, you just study. Right? Because I feel like for me, this is a problem with our generation where we're doing something, but we're not really there.
Oh, yeah. No,
You know?
absolutely.
We're not organized in
Oh,
that way.
yeah.
Are there any specific experiences or influences that have significantly shaped the kind of the mental framework that you have right now? Because I know with being in the cooking industry, being in the restaurant industry, something made you realize that you didn't want to do it, right? And it's that making that jump, right? Was there something that kind of clicked, or did parents talk to you about?
Oh, well, I've always had my parents in the back of my head. Oh, go to school. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, why aren't you studying to become a doctor?
My dad says that all the time.
I was like, first of all, I do not have the grades to become a doctor, but yeah, that was one thing. But I just knew I did not want to go to school, and I think in my parents' minds, and I don't know about other people's, but it's like you need to go to school to be successful. And that's in a lot of people's mindsets. And honestly, I feel like that's what this might be a hot take, but I feel like that's what high school is trying to teach you, is you have to go to post-secondary to be successful. And it's scary coming out of high school and you have no idea what you want to do, and you're not enrolled in university, and it's a lot. And you have to, it just all goes back to what we talked about, but you just want to find your true passion. And if there's something you don't like and it's clicking in your head that, okay, I need to make a change, you got to make the change, because, or else you're going to always be in that terrible mindset of what the hell am I doing with my life? And you're constantly going to be stressed, because when you don't like something you're doing, but you have to do it, it's a little different maybe if you're older, because you have bills to pay and you have a family to support. But even at this age, when you're doing something you don't enjoy, but you have to keep doing it to be able to live, it's hard. But you got to put one and one together and realize, okay, I don't want to do this, and I also don't want to be miserable the rest of my life. So
yeah, you had mentioned that high school emphasizes kind of going to that post-secondary route.
yeah,
And it only kind of caters towards the kids that do excel academically.
yeah,
And then especially for men these days, for us guys, it's hard to sit still, hey? Because I remember sitting in class and bro, my mind would be in the other side of the universe.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I found that, like, I looked around and everyone seemed so dialed in, and I was just so, well, I got good grades because I cram it, and this is in high school, you could do that. It's not, you can't do that anymore in uni. You can't ever do that anymore, and even in NAIT, you cannot do that.
Yeah, you gotta put your mind to it.
It's just, I post-secondary, it's not the thing that'll solve all your ambitions.
Problems.
Yeah.
And some people just make it seem like that. You go to school, it's going to solve all your problems. There's so many people I know who got all these different degrees and they still don't have a job in their field. They studied to become unknown whatever, and then they finish, they get their degree, and they work at a grocery store.
Yeah, it's definitely not 100% gonna give you the job that was listed onto that kind of degree objectives for the occupation. It's not gonna guarantee that you get that job.
Yep.
But maybe reframing going to school as to, like, I feel like a lot of people just go there aspiring for kind of money or that job rather than learning itself. Yeah. But yeah, it's tough. And really, I think for me, I just like to learn. I know if I don't get a job with my degree, I'll do something else. But if I do, then great. But it's just, yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like it's tough, especially for. Did you know that there are more women on campuses now than men?
Really?
Yeah, because it's just catered because women are a
Well,
lot more organized
I
and a
can
lot
see
more.
that. I know a lot
Yeah,
of men go blue collar, but I
yeah,
don't know. That's why I like blue collar. Like you said, I could never sit still in school and write down on the paper and have my mind straight set to, oh, this math equation. It's always somewhere else. That's why I like blue collar. I like to be hands on and know what I'm doing and work on things. Get my hands dirty.
yeah,
It's a lot, but yeah, I don't know. Definitely. Well, and also blue collar. It's becoming more of a diverse thing, but it was always. I don't know. There was talk that it was a man job, right? But it's definitely becoming more diverse, and more women realize that, oh, there's also other opportunities besides school.
yeah.
But not everyone knows that yet, right?
And even in school, Nate was never really prioritized as well. It was always McEwen and U of A,
In
I
U of A,
found.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It
Well, it
was
was
always
always,
frowned upon, it
yeah.
seemed. Like,
It's
oh,
even
trades.
sometimes like I know someone, they went to NAIT, but their parents wanted them to go to U of A, and their parents were like, "Why the hell are you going to NAIT? You're not going to be successful." I was like,
No,
"Oh,
you can. There's a
yeah,
lot of people that never go to school and were very successful. There's a lot of people
absolutely,
that start their own businesses. There's a
yeah."
lot of people that get into all sorts of stuff. In this day and age, there are so many opportunities. So
Yeah.
many.
No, so many opportunities. It's like, yeah, going to school might give you more knowledge and, knowledge on what you want to do with your life, but you can always do this. I mean, not everything you can do if you don't go to school, but some things like, let's say you go there to take business at U of A, you can still open a business without taking business. But
I mean, there's a lot of, I've heard this many times. The business professors like wouldn't be professors if they actually had a business, a
I've never heard
thriving
that one before,
business.
but that is very
No, it's
true.
like here you are talking about like how to run a business, how to be a business, but like, do you
You,
have
you wouldn't be here if you had a successful business.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like you'd be
I've
rolling in
never
millions.
heard
Like
that before.
the people that have very successful businesses do not have business degrees. Lots of them dropped out of school. And then here's where the misconception comes to, where people say, "Oh, Steve Jobs, like he didn't, was that the guy who dropped out of, or was it Bill Gates?"
I'm not sure. I
One
know
of
both.
them.
I'm
Well,
familiar with
but
both of them
they
though.
started the company and they dropped out, right? But it's like these are like the 1% people that did go out to start their businesses. Like these are not normal individuals.
Yeah.
It's like maybe school may be a kind of possible route, but certainly a lot of people use that excuse too. And I think I want to look at both sides. I'm not saying, oh, school is evil or this and that. I'm saying you have to do what's best for you. You have to look at both sides. But yeah, working in the fast food industry, and how did working in the fast food industry at a young age change your perspective on customer service and work ethics?
Oh, well, you know, I think we said this at the beginning, but I personally think everyone should have to work a customer service job or a fast food job in their lifetime. Because I think it actually teaches you a lot. Like, I was. I was very different. Like, this was a long time ago when I was in the fast food industry, but I was a very different person. Yeah, I was young, but you learn so much and you learn valuable lessons from people when you're working there, because you meet some people. Like, yes, you work at a fast food, there's a lot of immigrants who work in the fast food restaurants, but there's a lot of people from Canada who work in there who are much older than you. And you know I don't know how to say it, but even they say for themselves, yes, they weren't super successful in life, and they're trying to get food on their table for their kids and for their families. So you got to do what you got to do to make money, right? But oh, you learn so many lessons from these people that teach you about life, and maybe they tell you a mistake they made, and you learn, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. Like, there's so many people I've met who had told me that, you know, well, this was before anything, and I remember them telling me, they said, "Who cares what people think? You gotta stick to your gut. You gotta, put your hustle in, make your money. do what you want to do in life. Yeah, I didn't want to be at a fast food restaurant. I was 15 though, but you were making money. But these older people, they like to, a big misconception I even realized was your parents and older people tell you so many things when you're younger, but you just shoo them away and you never listen to them ever. And you hear this from so many people, but sometimes you just shoo them away and you just ignore them. And you're like, yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. But then, even at my age now, only 19, I realized, wow, I really I should have listened to these people, and I should have, realized what they were trying to tell me, because at the end of the day, they were just trying to make me a better person and trying to help me. And that's what these other people who are trying to teach you valuable lessons at these restaurants you're working at, because they don't want to see you be unsuccessful. Not all of them were unsuccessful. Like, they were still good human beings, and they were very good at what they did, and they had so many positives to their life, but they want you to be more successful than they were. And that was something big. It was, honestly, I want to say it was life-changing talking to some of those people, because you learn a lot of things from a lot of different people.
In retrospect, we remember the lessons that were told to us, or that was taught to us, and while maybe we went through it, we didn't fully internalize it. And once we're at an adult age and the brain is more developed, we look back and go, oh, those people just wanted the best for me. And even I feel that with my dad, where all he'd wanted was just for me to be better than him. Yeah. Like, and then as a kid, right, you're cocky. Like, I was a very cocky kid. Like, I really thought like I knew everything.
Oh, most kids did though.
Yeah. But then now I'm like, I don't know anything. Yeah. Like, I know such a small portion of all these different facets in life. And you had mentioned that immigrants coming from from the Philippines, from Brazil, from all these different countries to provide for their families, to give their families a better future. Yeah. And actually, my dad was one of them. And actually, lots of these people, man, from those third world countries, they were teachers, doctors, engineers. Yeah, but the reason they can't get a job here is because their degrees are not recognized.
I've been told that. I've heard a lot of stories from immigrants.
I think in Panda, there was like a psychologist there, man. There's a teacher.
Yeah, there was. I remember the big one. There was a woman from, I think, Mexico. And she, from what she told me, she was a really, really successful teacher, and she was making good money in Mexico. I don't know how it is compared to Canada, but yeah. And she moved here for a better future and just a fresh start, right? And the degree just meant nothing. Yeah, it was useless. Complete fresh start when you come here, and it's crazy.
I can't imagine that, bro. Like, dropping everything you've known. Yeah. At 40, coming to a different country with your 8-year-old kids,
with literally nothing. Like, if your degree isn't mean anything here, I don't know what else really means anything here.
And a lot of these immigrants work double, triple jobs, 16-hour shifts.
There's a lot of those people at Panda. A lot of them.
Bro, and
they're working open to like 4, then they go 4 to like 12 in the morning. I'm like, holy shit, man.
I remember my first job was at McDonald's, and I remember getting my first 4-hour shift and going, oh, this is so tiring. And then anytime I get my shift and I get like an 8, I'm like, what the an 8-hour shift? You're telling me I have to work for 8 hours? Yeah. And then I hear the women, men, the hardworking, very industrious, just finishing off their shift, and then they'd have to go to another shift for another 8 hours, and then they'd have to take care of their kid. They have to drop their kid off school the next day, and then they'd have to cook dinner, and then their spouse is also working another job, and it's just, and they've been doing that for 4 years because they also need to send money back home to the family. And then here I am vaping in the washroom, dabbing my boys up on Snapchat, sending streaks.
Fucking streaks. Dude. No, and honestly, I think that just all leads back to a lesson you've learned, because I think even what you just said there, it should motivate you to, try harder in life.
Mm-hmm. But it makes us realize that there's we can try harder.
Yeah.
Because you see all these successful individuals, and they had brought their entire families here just to work at this job, and they have already tried back at home and succeeded there, but then they're also still constantly trying for their family.
Yeah.
And here we are, still young. We don't have to do that. We're at a better start.
Yeah.
We don't have kids. Like, we don't have all these people relying on us.
Mm-hmm.
So why can't we succeed even further, go past our limitations, right? Can you share an experience where empathy towards a coworker made a significant difference in the workplace?
Well, in any workplace, I think your attitude matters a lot. And I think everyone's attitude around you, even the customers, but that's a different story, the customers' attitudes, but
Karen's, bro.
But I think a big thing is, man, when one person is down, or they have a very giving up mindset and a bad attitude and just a terrible mindset towards everything, I think it brings other people around them down that you're working with. Like, let's say back when I was 15 and I worked at Panda Express, and someone was having a really bad day, and their mindset just wasn't focused on what they wanted, what they were doing in the moment, and they were focused on something else that was causing them a lot of stress. It can bring me down. It can bring people around them down. It can make people feel sad. But I think you got to have the courage to, talk to people and, just let them, I don't know what the word is. I just say like vent, but just let them express their feelings to you. And, that can make a big difference in a workplace. You don't know what anyone is going through around you. You don't know, like you said, even these really successful people could be suicidal for all we know, right? And I think it's good to open up and let people vent to you, even at the workplace. Some people use the workplace to escape from reality for how long their shift is, but it's good to let people talk to you, because if you don't, you never know.
Have you always been that empathetic?
No.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. I've learned a lot though. Like, I use Panda as an example. I was never that empathetic at Panda.
I was a degenerate. I'm sure you've heard of the stories, but I think it took rock bottom for me to realize just how much of a piece of shit I was.
Oh, I was
like, it took me
I was doing some terrible things there, man.
Yeah, I looked in the mirror one day and I go, if I continue this route, I am going to hell.
Oh man, yeah.
And then not even just a hell after life, like a hell on earth. And that's just, I'm religious and I'm a believer of heaven and hell, and it's just, some people create a hell for themselves, and I see the demise and kind of the suffering that people enforce or do to themselves because of the choices that they make.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm headed there.
Mm-hmm.
How can I prevent this? And so I started recognizing the flaws in my behavior, the flaws in my mindset, and I started treating people better, because it took me that fall. I needed that, and I'm so thankful for it. I needed to have that state of just no confidence, just all my confidence wiped out, for me to be able to look at other people and go, okay, like, you are no better. I'm no better than you.
Absolutely.
You are no better than
and
me.
that's
We're all
hard
equals.
for people to learn sometimes.
It's hard.
Like, it took me a while. At one point in life, I think we all think we're better than everyone else.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're all the same,
We're
man.
nothing special. We're all the same. Like, we all bleed the same. We all feel the same joys, pain, and suffering.
Yeah.
It's that growth, though. I wish everyone thought like that, because I still talk to some adults at work that have like a very, like, I don't want to say my mode of thinking is right, but it's very hateful. It's very victim mentality, very
just negative.
Yeah, negative. It's not helping anyone. And these are parents. Some of them are just,
I know,
been alive for
it's
decades.
hard when you're at a workplace and you realize, bro, these people have kids. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, and they're like spreading drama. Like it's
Yeah.
like this is still high school. Like I think I heard somewhere where like after high school you realize that like workplaces are just like after high schools.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
They're just because like the drama's still there, bro. Like every single workplace.
Oh, there's
sure it
drama everywhere.
Yeah,
but
everywhere.
yeah.
And it's just like, why do I know that Kelly did this with Sean, with Brittany? And it's just, it doesn't make sense. Why can't we all just like want to be better, and empathize and just understand and stop being so immature?
Yeah. Well, it's just hard, but I think eventually everyone realizes it.
Yeah.
But it just takes longer for some people.
Yeah. What's your favorite memory in the fast food industry? If you have a particular one.
Honestly, man, I'm gonna say Panda. You know, any shift dude, because when I first started working there, I met Jeff.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I worked with you at all.
No, you didn't. You worked with me after I had gotten fired. But yeah, dude, I was a fun person to work with.
Yeah, well, Jeff told me a lot of stories. But yeah, I remember I worked with Jeff for a while, and we'd fuck around, man. we would do some bad things. And now you look back, I'm like, why the hell am I doing that? But
yeah,
you know,
you're a kid.
15, 16, 17-year-old me was like, man, whatever.
You're a kid.
But anything like that. And then I remember a lot of people left, and I was able to get like 4 of my friends hired at Panda Express.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember one day, it was my last day before I was done. I quit. I put my 2 weeks in. It was my last day. And I remember I somehow got scheduled with all 4 of my friends.
Oh, the boys. Yeah.
Dude, I remember it was all of us, and then I don't know, I think it was a manager or something, but it was a chill manager. Fuck, we just fucked around, man. I don't think that company made very much money that day, but it's sad to say now, but dude, that was the headsets.
Yeah, dude, the headsets. You just have like it's like a Discord, man.
Dude, we'd have some crazy ass conversations on the headsets.
Yeah, dude, Jeff and I have had some like really cancelable conversations.
Oh man, if
there.
the headsets got leaked, man, we would be canceled.
All jail time. Yeah. That's so funny.
No, man, it was good.
But yeah, dude, just understanding the different walks of life too there. Like I'm sure you guys fucked around, but it's not like you didn't do your job.
No,
you still did your job.
You still get your job at the end of the day, and that's one thing. Is there's some people who are just so lazy and miserable and don't want to work, but they have to work because they need money, but they still don't do their job. And it's just like, if you do your job, you can also have a good time at the same time. You gotta know when you're doing something wrong and when you're doing something right.
You could fuck around, but some people take it too far.
Too far.
You're gonna get fired.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You just have to know when you're going over, the edge, and you're pushing it a little too much.
You're a kid, right?
Yeah.
And certainly it's just you learn from it and you make mistakes. And I always tell this to people, you are not your past. Like no. You are not like you who you are right now, you're still redeemable. Like there's just some people cling on to the things that they've done in the past and they go, oh, that's me. I'll forever be that person. But it's like, no, bro, like you can change. Like,
absolutely.
We are constantly changing every day. Like you're not just going to stay in that one position. You can either change for the better or the worse. Pick your choice. Pick the path that you're willing to go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, man, thank you so much for coming along to our podcast.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Conversation.
Yeah. Any last words to the viewers, listeners?
You can cut this out if you want. Jeff G, get your ass on the podcast.
Yeah, no, I'm not cutting it out. Like I've said his name multiple times. I've asked permission if I can say his name. And he said, it's okay. Yeah, no, Jeff, you have to come on the pod, man.
He's just being a pussy.
Yeah, he needs to just believe and say what he thinks. We all believe in you, Jeff. But yeah. And as always, to everyone listening and watching, there is a place for you in this chaotic world. Never lose hope, strengthen your faith, and keep it long term. Peace.
Sick.